Most people do not think twice when they see a carton of eggs in the refrigerator. Maybe it is 2 eggs on Monday, maybe 3 on Saturday, maybe none the next day. But that single plate does not tell the full story, because an egg is not eaten in isolation. It can replace a sweet muffin, a fast food breakfast, or a snack you grabbed because you were rushed. Or it can be added on top of a meal that is already heavy. That difference matters. Today, we are going to look at eggs in a more practical way. Your 7-day pattern, your blood work, your health goals, and the foods they replace. First, stop judging one breakfast by itself. So the first step is simple. Stop judging eggs by one breakfast. One day can fool you. 3 eggs on Monday sounds like a lot. 1 egg on Tuesday sounds careful. 0 eggs on Wednesday sounds even better. But those 3 days do not mean the same thing as eating the same amount every single morning for 7 days straight. Your body does not live inside one plate. It lives inside your whole week. This is why a weekly count is much more useful than a single meal. Someone who eats 3 eggs Monday, 1 egg Thursday, and none for the next 2 days is not eating the same way as someone who eats a large egg breakfast every day. And someone who says, "I eat 84 eggs a month," is really talking about a long-term habit, not a random Tuesday morning. Your goal also changes the answer. A 70-year-old trying to stay strong, a person training at the gym, someone losing weight, and someone watching blood work are not asking the same question. The Dietary Guidelines for Americans. 2020 to 2025 focus on the whole eating routine, not one food floating by itself. That makes the question less scary and more practical. Do not panic over one plate. Do not celebrate one plate either. Your weekly habit matters more than one breakfast. Now take that one step further. An egg never arrives alone. It is always part of a real meal, on a real plate, on a real morning. 2 boiled eggs next to fruit and coffee are one thing. 2 eggs added to a fast food breakfast sandwich, processed meat, fried potatoes, and a sugary coffee drink are something else. The egg did not change. The meal around it did. This is where many people get trapped. They ask whether eggs are good or bad, as if the answer sits inside the shell. But food does not work that cleanly in real life. If eggs replace a muffin, a sweet pastry, or a rushed snack from a gas station, they may be helping you move toward a better breakfast. If they are simply added on top of a heavy plate, they may be making an already rich meal even heavier. So the smarter question is not just how many eggs you ate. It is what those eggs pushed off the plate. The swap changes the story. This also explains why advice about eggs has felt so confusing over the years. A lot of people have lived through several different messages. One decade, eggs sounded dangerous. Another decade, they sounded useful again. That can make the whole subject feel unreliable, especially if you're older and have heard doctors, magazines, and morning shows say different things over time. The confusion is understandable. For a long time, the public message focused heavily on cholesterol in food. Later, the question became more careful. It was not only, does this food contain cholesterol? It became, how does this food fit into the whole diet, the person's health, and the rest of the plate? You can see that change in the recommendations. In 2002, the AHA moved away from its older specific limit of 3 to 4 eggs per week. Later, the 2015 to 2020 dietary guidelines no longer kept the old 300 milligram daily cholesterol limit in the same way. That does not mean the answer became, eat as many as you want. It means the message became less like a warning label and more like a personal health decision, and that is where headlines often make things worse. A careful recommendation becomes a simple slogan. Then the slogan gets repeated until people think the science flipped overnight. It did not become simple. The headline did. That is why a doctor may sound more cautious than a video. A video speaks to a crowd. A doctor is looking at one chart, Two people can both be 65 years old and still have very different numbers. One may have normal LDL, normal triglycerides, no diabetes, and no kidney disease. Another may have high readings, a family history of heart problems, and a medication list that changes the conversation completely. So when a doctor says, "Be careful with eggs," that advice may not be about eggs alone. It may be about the person sitting in front of them. It may be about lab results from last month. It may be about blood sugar, kidney function, or how the rest of that person eats. For many healthy adults, 1 egg a day can fit into a balanced diet. For someone with specific risks, the answer may need to be tighter. The advice changes when the person changes. The same thing is true when you read the side of a carton. A nutrition label is useful. It tells you protein grams, fat grams, calories, and other numbers that matter. But those numbers are not the same as the food itself. Your body does not eat a spreadsheet. It eats a whole food inside a meal with all of its parts arriving together. This is why scientists sometimes use the term food matrix. In plain English, it means the way nutrients are held together inside a real food. Protein is not floating by itself. Fat is not floating by itself. Vitamins and minerals are not arriving one at a time, like separate pills on a table. They come together, and that changes how the food is digested, absorbed, and used. This matters because people often get stuck on one number. They see fat grams and stop there. They see cholesterol and stop there. They see calories and stop there. Those numbers are worth knowing, but they are not the whole meal. A food is more than its numbers. That is why feeling better is useful, but it is not the final answer. Many people notice real changes. Morning energy feels steadier. Hunger feels easier to manage. Digestion may feel calmer. Some people say their head feels clear, especially when they stop grabbing sweet snacks or skipping meals. Those signs matter. They are worth paying attention to. But a better feeling does not prove that every number inside you is moving in the right direction. Weight can change. A 1C can change. LDL can change. Blood pressure can change. And sometimes those numbers do not move the way your daily mood makes you expect. So treat the first few weeks like a simple check-in. Notice how you feel after breakfast. Notice whether you stay full until lunch. Notice your digestion. Notice whether your weight is drifting up, down, or staying steady. Write it down for 7 days if you need to. It does not have to be complicated. Then look at what changed around the eggs. Did you also cut back on sugar? Did you start intermittent fasting? Did you add a 30-minute walk after dinner? Did you sleep better this week? Those changes can affect how you feel too. And if you have heart disease, diabetes, kidney disease, high cholesterol, or a medication list, do not use energy alone as your guide. Bring the habit to your next appointment. Ask what your blood work says. Your body gives clues, but labs give context. So do not turn eggs into a hero or a villain. Treat them like one part of your real life. Look at your 7-day routine. Look at breakfast this week. Ask what the eggs replaced. Ask what was added around them. Then match that with your health, your doctor's advice, and numbers like an LDL test, if that matters for you. The best answer is not hiding in one meal. It is in the repeat pattern you can actually live with. So this week, write down your breakfast for 7 days. A simple food log may tell you more than one perfect plate ever could.